Yeah, pretty simple. But it will always be a history lesson of the card. Be like, no one really looked at it at the time because it cost 4. Then they printed trainings and the card got really good. The end.
Good day, Tamers. Welcome back to episode 3 of Good Card, Bad Card, or Diabolical Card that definitely needs to be put on the ban list as soon as possible so we can get some fresh air in this goddamn dense miasma of a card game called the Digimon TCG. Joined today by William B. A replay. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing well. It's good to be back. Thank you for inviting me back on. We're going to talk
tangents.
about a card.
I like tangents. Today's card, as you could tell, is one near and dear to my heart of Sinful Pain, and that will be BT11's MirageGaogamon. Now, we're just gonna say right now, ban this card. We're both fed up of it.
Oh yeah,
Not because we hate losing
yeah,
to it, just we're fed up of seeing it. Like,
yeah. I've played the card like I played Mirage for a few months. I'm just fed up with the card being in the game. I want it banned at this point, but we'll talk more detail in a bit.
at the release of this episode, because it will be roughly around about the Valentine's Day mark, which will be roughly when it came out 2 years ago. This card is still fully up for of. But yeah, BT11 MirageGaogamon, very, very good card. At the time, saw no play at all because people didn't understand how the deck would work. The archetype itself wasn't very fleshed out. We only had the BT4 support, I'm pretty sure of it, and then the black versions of it from BT5, which didn't synergize with it at all because it wasn't named. So, for a long time, the deck itself just didn't have a way to do anything. And then slowly over the next few months, we kind of saw what Bandai's plan was. Funny enough, though, EX4 was the first set designed by, I think, our current designer, which had support for the set. And then the last set done by the old designer, BT13, also had support for the set. That may or may not have been the reason why this deck has essentially lived out its welcome for the last 18 months. So, Willie B, if you want to do a little bit more for me.
Oh yeah. So obviously it came out BT11. There were some Galgamon-based cards in the set at the time. Like we got our first level 5 Galgamon that let it unsuspend as well. But at the time it didn't do too much, partially because they had one good line, like one good level 3, one good 4, one good 5, and then the Mirage. So it wasn't the most consistent deck. And at the time, the only searching-based cards were Blue Memory Boost, I think. So it didn't have the consistency that it does now. And then EX4 came out, they got another Mac Galgamon, another Galgamon, and another Galmon. And then that EX4 Mac Galgamon actually ended up being limited. It's the one card of the deck that's limited, which I always find quite funny.
Yeah, it is.
And then trainings came out, and once trainings came out, it really flooded the card in how good it was, because suddenly this 4 cost that would normally gain you 2 memory, maybe 3 in a good game, but you'd still be paying for it. Suddenly it costs you 0 to go into. And the combined effect of bounce level 5 or lower, so either getting rid of some board presence, or you just add a card to security to hand, so it's not trashing security quite, but like adding it to hand, it's a guaranteed way of getting rid of it without actually checking what the card is. You gain the memory, then the opponent has to deal with the all turns effect, and you have to turn the all turns effect on your turn for the rest of the game afterwards. It just snowballs out of control if you get it on board unanswered for more than a turn or two. And a lot of people are sick of seeing it, and I am as well. It's the trainings that I feel really push it over the edge. Just you set up 1 or 2 trainings, 1 or 2 memory boosts. You can go from level 3 all the way to a level 6 in one turn, and then it's there, and you have to answer it. It's not very frustrating to play into. It's not hard to deal with. Blue is not normally a set with protection. Just doesn't feel great, and it's been around for so long. The main reason I want it banned over limited is because it's the kind of card that wins you the game if you get the one-off. Similar to Anubismon in many cases, that is also a limited card I think should be banned. It would just feel bad to lose because they drew their one-off Mirage over whatever other level 6 they're playing. And it's not as common, but a lot of decks run 5 level 6s. I could see it being they just run their best level 6 for the main deck, and then the Mirage is a random level 6 if it's limited, because it's almost free to go into. It has a threatening effect that must be dealt with, because let's be real, what deck doesn't add to hand by effect in some way in the modern age of the game? And in some cases, happens before the opponent can even really have their turn on top of it. Because the card's not only seen playing pure Galgamon lists, it's been seen play in the Galaxy engine as well. More recently, anyway. It's just it's not fully generic, but it's a very versatile card that you can I would if someone showed me a deck list and it's a blue deck and they have that as a level 6, and I'd be like, okay, I don't think you're wrong for putting it in there. Like I don't think your deck is worse for playing it compared to most other level 6s in the game. Obviously, it's a bit different if they're choosing to run it over like their boss monster for their whole main deck, but I don't think it makes a deck worse by being in there. And I'm very sick of it being in the game. It's been too long.
No, again, yeah, it's just generically a very good blue top end. It's not really limited to its own archetype. I think a lot of people would say it probably would be, but no, I agree it's not. It's just generically good. Forecast, he says, pondering his own words here.
Yeah, 4 cost to evo in 2, but obviously you gain some memory
It
back.
never seems that way. It always seems like it's a 2 cast.
Yeah, because
At
because
minimum.
trainings are a thing as well.
So yeah, again,
It's a fake 4 cost.
it's a fake forecast. It's just a lie to you. It's just tax fraud.
Especially if they have Madoki Betamon in play or something that stops memory gain. It's like,
Look,
oh, I bounce it, gain
That's like
memory
my
anyway.
favourite memory from last year was watching Frozen get like choked out multiple turns because he couldn't get his memory back. Just that's the only good thing about that card last year was just watching the reigning European champion be like, God damn, I can't deal with this card. Can't kill it. Stupid
Yeah,
goddamn Madoka
that's
Betamon.
no Galgamon deck's weakness. It isn't very good at dealing with a lot of things. It deals with
I'm weak
one
to
or two
myself,
things
God
very
damn it.
well. Yep.
But no, I think in this case it's going to be a case. It's a very good card. We both think it's a bad card for the game. We both think it needs to be banned because it's just one. It's actually outlived its purpose now because it's just warping how blue wants to be seen now because they can't do anything with blue because it's just going to interact with the deck that's already good.
Yeah.
Look at the fish, for instance. The fish have basically done the same thing. It's like, oh, we have fish, put them in the dog deck. Oh, we have birds,
Oh,
put them in the dog deck. Oh, we have this, put it in the dog deck. Because that's the issue we've got now is the genericness that is becoming Digimon. So yeah, ban this card.
it's very blue heavy, the Genericus, actually, because blue got the fish, which is like, oh, it can't die by battle for a turn, and now its attack target can't change. And for some reason, they gave jamming to every level 3
Yeah,
inheritable.
it's
So
become the fighting color, which is weird because red should be the fighting color.
yeah, I'd agree. That's blue for
Red
you.
gets really
Bandai likes
big,
blue.
but does any form of removal.
Yep. Blue
I,
dies 20 form of removal, but then just does it again.
yeah, it's like I'm back. It's like, where'd you go? It's like I didn't go anywhere. I've always been here.
A little extension to the Mirage, though. The burst mode is also something people have discussed being hit. I don't really agree. It is a very powerful game-ending card, but honestly, there's a lot of other cards that aren't like it. Like they don't have the same effect of I unsuspend multiple times if I have the right setup and I gain some memory for when digivolving. But like, I know it's not the best example, but Gallantmon Crimson mode has been in the game for ages, and that's just I get my attack through, I rinse your security, and I win because you have no security left.
Especially
Like
the new one.
it's a boss, yeah, not the new one, mind you. That is true.
New one
Well,
says
not the new
10,
Gallantmon
10
X.
per, right? So if there's 30 over both trashes, it just goes,
Yeah, it
hey,
does.
I win
Yeah,
now.
it does one more than the old one on top of being a Ace Digimon.
It's very good.
But yeah, burst mode is frustrating to lose to, especially because your opponent has to go through the process of I attack, put your cards to the bottom. Okay, make you draw a card off this other thing. Attack, unsuspend once more, put a card to the bottom, make you draw another thing with another effect in the deck. Like it's frustrating to lose to that. I do agree, but it's a win. It's a win condition card like many other decks have, and on top of that, it feels a lot worse because Mirage can often go into it in one turn. They can go from level 3 all the way up to it in one turn if they had to tame and play in like 2 boosts or 2 trainings in some form, like any combination
And
of
then
2.
just OTK, yeah.
Yeah, and they can do it from there. But a part of that is the fact that they have the level 6 Mirage that says, hey, I get to gain some memory on my Digivolve, which also adds another card into the hand. It's not uncommon when you're going to burst mode to gain free memory off the burst mode Digivolution because the level 6 Mirage added another one to the hand. So it snowballs even more so from there. Like, the burst mode is a very frustrating card, but I would say the problem of the deck is the level 6 that is
It's printing
significantly
memory, yeah.
lower cost. Yes. On top of potentially moving one extra security, so you need one less attack because it just adds to hand if it didn't bounce anything. So that's a little back onto the BT11 Galgamon discussion because they're often put together. I don't know why I said Galgamon. Mirage Galgamon discussion.
The Galgamon discussion,
But
the whole deck is terrible. Especially
yeah, the whole
for
deck is
different reasons.
frustrating. Yeah, the whole deck is frustrating to play into. Uh, But yeah, burst mode I think is fine. It's the level 6 that's more the problem, but level 6 is a problem outside of the deck as well. It's a general issue for the game, I feel.
Yeah, totally agree. Again, one of these cards where it needs to be looked at in case, like, again, just don't limit it. It needs to be banned. As much as I hate what other companies do when they have unlimited formats where they just ban things to sell more product, in this case, it's more the health of the game is just, it's always lingering in the shadows. And it can easily top a tournament run for no other reason than the person who's playing it got very lucky. And as much as
Oh
I
yeah,
agree, luck should be part of every card game because it's a random numbers generator. If the only thing that's keeping you down is your opponent's luckier than you are, no matter how skillful you are in comparison, that isn't great for a card game either.
no, it doesn't feel good, and it's frustrating to play into for anyone. Like another example being Green Hidden Potential discovered. Just you've got to your level 6 for a cost of 0 or 1, depending on what green deck you're playing, because you happen to have hidden potential, and you just get to keep a turn that you shouldn't have been keeping otherwise. Like, it doesn't feel great to play into any one of card that if the opponent draws it, it wins them the game.
But they
And
still lose anyway
I
because
would,
green.
yeah, green will probably still lose because it's green, and blue a lot of the time would still lose because it's blue, even if they did hit that one off Mirage, if assuming it was limited. But because in the modern day, blue has not been doing as well. Is my point there. Generic blue anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have seen blue splashes in some
Anything
decks,
that
such
isn't
as Imperial
specifically
Storm.
Mirage is doing quite bad in blue, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Everything else is just trying not to drown in the
yeah.
pool.
To be fair, a lot of stuff's not doing well at the moment if it's not purple.
Yeah, purple had a really good year, which is. But I've said this before. Purple's that really weird color where it can't do anything because it's too weak, or just because it interacts with the trash, it's too strong.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because same with yellow. Yellow is the situation of it interacts with security, which is something that it shouldn't do because it's too strong because it has an extra hand. Purple technically is the graveyard, or in this case, trash color, because he gets to play with the trash. It means that whenever your trash is getting bigger, you got a bigger hand,
Yeah, pretty much.
and that is the problem. But I would have thought black would have been that color, but you can see black's just not doing anything at all these last
Hey, black's a
5.
great color. If you splash it to secondary colors,
Yeah,
get the
it's
digivolve
the
into
perfect
things.
secondary color, but a terrible main primary color.
Magnex is the best black deck. Magnamon does work in there.
I
But
mean,
that's a whole other discussion.
uh,
I'd say that Magnamon's also up for discussion of being hit at some point.
maybe we want to see what the support in BT21 is first, because I always say that Magnamon X is that middle point deck where it's just a good deck overall, but it's still beaten by a lot of other points.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking Magnamon Light for other things. It's good to the point though where like other decks have been playing it. Imperial started running it. Some blue and black decks decide to run it as the one or two of.
I mean, I've been
Uh,
seeing people playing it in
Again,
Imperial, which I thought was really weird.
yeah. But again, other discussion for a different video if we talk about that card.
Which again, we'll look at what we get in April, see if we get some good stuff, and then episode 25 or whatever could be a case of we need to ban this card now because it's too strong again. It's even more powerful than when Yellow Vaccine had it in its own color and V deck. How dare they?
So 87. Today we're going to talk about Madoki Betamon because we've run out of cards to talk about. Should we hit it?
No,
I don't know.
it's the only thing keeping me sane in this game. Stop the memory gains. But thank you for being here this week. We'll catch you guys in the next one. A little bit shorter than last week because we kind of did tangent off at the end instead of having a tangent at the start of the episode. But we will catch you next time for hopefully another interesting card. So it's goodbye from me and a goodbye from our good friend Mr. Willie B.
Bye bye for now.
And we'll see you guys next time. Ta-ra!